Hello friends and welcome to Figure Study, where yes, I am finally looking at DX9 Chigurh, or Chigurh. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Chigurh because that's how Vangelis was pronouncing it. So yeah, Chigurh, DX9's version of Astrotrain. I had this figure for a while at one point and then got rid of it like a foolish fool, and now I have it again. And you might notice this guy's also got Reprolabels on him because things like the silver on the smaller wheels and the metallic purple on the larger wheels, that's not normally on this guy, and also the Decepticon logo, obviously. But yes, I did apply Reprolabels to this guy. I'm going to try to point them out when I can, but this is just going to be a regular figure study because there's more stuff I want to talk about this guy than just what the Reprolabels add. And they do add a little bit of nice detail here and there, but for the most part, it's mostly kept to the shuttle and robot mode. But anyway, let's just get right to it because this guy is a triple changer because Astrotrain, so got a lot of stuff to cover. So yeah, his train mode is passable. It's not ideal-ish. Like, it definitely reads as a train, where you've got the line of wheels on the side, including the kind of bar going across there. And you've also got, of course, like the windows in the back, the kind of more boxiness back here, this cylinder going up the front. Other more telltale signs of a train, like, well, of an older train, something like a smokestack and stuff, that's not really here. And that's fine. It gets the point across. It is kind of a shame, though, because his other two modes are so great. This mode kind of feels more workhorsey than playful and interesting like the other two modes. I suppose you could argue that, of course, the train is going to be the workhorse of the three modes, but it's still, I feel like it could have been a little better, but then again, going by the engineering, I don't know what else they could have really done. Anyway, he is in this almost pastel-y purple, which I don't mind. I imagine an even deeper purple would look really nice, but I'm totally fine with the color scheme we got because it's like, yeah, the purple and the gray are kind of light in tone, but the tones do work together. It's not like super dark and super light or anything like that. There's no contrasting like tones overall. And of course, you've got a lot of nice detail that's picked out in various colors. So like that separation with like the gray kind of going along the bottom of the train where all the wheels are, separates things out nicely, but then there's some nice silver and black detailing on the side, and also some more kind of mechanical-y details picked out in silver on the sides. The most train-like bit of this thing is probably the front, where you've just got this big old circle right there, but then the cowcatcher is very obviously shuttle cockpit windows, so yeah. Still, there is some nice detail going around. And even the wheels on top don't really stand out too badly as wheels. They're still clearly wheels, but it's not egregious or anything. And then, of course, around the back there is the plank. And underneath, there's stuff under there, but it doesn't immediately read like robot. So yeah, I don't know. The train mode is inoffensive, we'll say. Not my favorite mode of the three, but it is the most compact. And I do kind of appreciate the fact that this guy basically just turns into a stick. There's just something very funny about that to me, but in like a good way. So anyway, let us move his stick mode off to the side for some size comparisons. Looks like I'm gonna have to adjust. Hang on a second. Okay, there we go. So there he is with the standard deluxe squad. It's a pretty big train. For reasons that I hope are obvious, here he is with Action Toys Machine Robo line, their Steam Robo. And this is the first time I've really looked at these two side by side and made like a direct comparison. I'm kind of surprised just how close the purples are on these guys. Like, yeah, Chigurh's purple is a little bit different, but it's pretty close. But anyway, Duck Tank. Alright, so as we have established, Chigurh is a pretty big train. And now we are going to turn him into a space shuttle. Are you surprised? Yeah, me either. Okay, so I don't really know why the shuttle mode was fighting me so much with the arm sections lining up down there, but I got it done. And this is the main reason why I love this figure. I've heard that a lot of people take issue with the shuttle mode because it's so different from the G1 toy and the G1 cartoon. I personally do not care. I think this shuttle, just as a toy and as a space shuttle, looks great. It's really cute, but also kind of cool. You can definitely see more of the Reprolabels in this mode as well. Like, there's the Decepticon logos on the wings, there's a little bit of stickering on the sides here and here, but you get this really nice metallic purple line work along the top. I really like that. But yeah, this is just a fun shuttle mode. It doesn't hold together as well as I would like. I think I must have done something wrong in the transformation because this normally sits together a lot better and isn't as gappy. So ignore this. This normally doesn't look this bad. I probably just should have rotated the thighs or something. Actually, let me do that real quick. Yep, that did it. Rotating the thighs actually did clean things up a little bit better. You can see now this is holding together a little bit better. This is holding together a little bit better. This isn't quite as pushing itself down as it was before. Yeah, my mistake. Should have rotated the thighs. Point is, I really like this shuttle mode. I love how, like, I know Astrotrain does this, but I really love how Chigurh handles it, where you get a almost entirely purple train with like just a little gray on the bottom to now an almost entirely gray shuttle with some purple accents along the bottom and sides. It's a really neat conversion. It's a really neat shuttle mode. This toy isn't simple, but it's not really that complex either. Like, everything makes sense. The only little nitpicky things to remember are like rotating the thighs and rotating the thumbs up for the hand, because they have to like sit in a little groove thing. But yeah, this is a really nice looking shuttle mode. I really like this. There's a lot of really nice detailing, a fair number of which you didn't really see or didn't see much of in the train mode. And for some reason, I really like this tail, like the little point on the end and the nice purple and yellow color there. Like, I really like how that yellow contrasts with the purple. That's just a really nice intentional clash of colors. You even get the little landing gear, which you can fold up. And on the underside, you get some of the train windows that are left over. If you want, you can pop this thing off. There are these little tabs that go together on the other side here, and they slide into there. But I like that you have that storage. And then there's also that thing that I feel like everyone knows this, but I still really love it. How you can use this in conjunction with the plank, which doesn't have a place to go in the shuttle mode, as a flight stand. So you just rotate this out and you push it back far enough that it clicks. Like, you'll just kind of feel it click into place. And then this goes in, rotate around like this. There we go. So that sits kind of like that. And then when you plug this into the underside of the shuttle, line it up properly, like that actually holds pretty well, and then you get a little makeshift flight stand for the shuttle mode. That's really cute and really neat. I like that. I like that that's a display option. And if I displayed my figures in vehicle mode with any regularity, this is how I would have this guy displayed, because I really like this shuttle mode, as I've said many times now. It's a really cool design. I like the engineering, I like the look, I like the detailing, I like the colors, and I love how you've got a semi-integrated flight stand. It's all just really neat. That is the shuttle mode. That is probably my favorite mode of the three. Probably also not a surprise. Anyway, let's move on to size comparisons. And it looks like I need to adjust again. And there he is with the standard deluxe squad. And what I like about this is he's still big. He's still a fairly big figure in this alt mode, but like, this alt mode feels like a different kind of big from the train. The train was basically like a stick. So it was, it was sizable, but it was more about like, it's a little bit longer, narrower, not quite as tall as the shuttle, even if you don't count the flight stand. And then it just kind of shrinks in and puffs out, like mass-wise, to make this really awesome looking shuttle. I just really, really like that. Now, for reasons that I once again hope are pretty obvious, here he is with Ocular Max's Volatus. They're blast off, basically. This really, really drives home the fact that Chigurh's shuttle mode is much more puffy, let's say, than an average shuttle. And here he is with the duck tank. Okay, robot mode. Let me get this stuff out of the way first, so get rid of that. And let's just transform this real quick. So yeah, this little thing which was plugged in like this in the train mode and became a landing gear in the shuttle mode. You just flip upside down and this pulls up. This flips around and out. Little handle flips down, and there you got his gun. And that's really cool. And the Reprolabels, they add the little sight on the end there and at the back, as well as the silver on the wheels there. So, alright, with that done, now it's time for the robot mode. Okay, I swear despite how I made that look, the transformation's actually pretty darn straightforward. The only real complication is the bicep swivels on the arms, because it rotates at the bicep and just behind the forearm, so you kind of have to rotate that block all at once in order to have the easiest time of transforming the rest of the forearm, but really not that bad. It's a little awkward, but a little awkward is as bad as it gets. What you're left with is a really cool looking Astrotrain. I know this isn't accurate to the show or really accurate to the toy. It hits certain notes here and there, like the pec plates and the wheels, in this case faux wheels, sitting right around the head, but I really don't care. This just looks cool. My main gripe with this is the thighs are a little bit skinny looking, and you also get this kind of unsightly inside of the rocket and train chunks facing out, but this is kind of hidden in the back in shadow, and it's one of those things where I never even really noticed that it was there until well after having this guy like the second time around. So it's the kind of thing I feel like is easily ignorable, if that makes sense. You can, if you don't like these bits hanging down, you can fold the wingtips up and have it a little bit more clean like that. I don't particularly care either way. I kind of feel like this is more bothersome, like having these bits sticking forward like that, than having them in the back there. You can also, I believe, gotta disconnect the wings first to do this, but I think you can fold these wingtips up and then nope. It doesn't quite fit if you do it that way, but you can do it that way and just have it kind of sit back there if you want to give them that look. And that's not terrible, but there is the fact that it's not actually connected back here, so I'm going to fix that. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I love this thing. Like I said, I know it's not accurate to any one specific Astrotrain, at least not the toy or the cartoon. It may be more comic accurate, I don't know. But I really like this. And the Reprolabels add just enough, I think, because most of what you get in this mode is in the shins with these purple vents these yellow vents and the purple stripes here, and a little bit on the inside of the legs there, a little bit of red on the pelvis, and then these pec plate stickers, and like the Decepticon logos on the wings, but I don't really think that's as noticeable. But yeah, it's pretty simple, the detailing that you get with the stickers, so I don't think it necessarily makes or breaks the figure, but I do prefer them with. Oh, and another thing that's a little bit unsightly in my mind is the visible slider mechanism right here. I kind of not a fan of that, but it's fine. I absolutely love this figure. I don't care. It's just if I'm looking for stuff, there's that, and like the wheels just kind of there, folded up on the sides of his legs, but I don't care because I don't really look at that stuff with this guy. I just see a really neat looking Astrotrain with a lot of really interesting molded detail. So he's not like cartoon smooth. It's just a really interesting look. Bringing him in closer to look at some of those details, it's a lot of what we saw in the shuttle and train modes. In particular, the legs, it's a lot of shuttle stuff and like the little vent thingies from the front of the train. And then when you get up to the midsection, that's when you get some new stuff, because now those thighs are visible for the first time. This panel, which was the underside of the train, is now repositioned, and it reveals these kind of abs. I love the pec plates up here. I love how these are just kind of folded away inside what are the arms, and they unfurl and curl around and help lock the torso together. It's a really neat transformation gimmick. And some nice detailing in the shoulders. The color breakup is really nice too, with like the gray kind of coming from the arms all the way down into this bit. And this gray detail you pretty much only see in the robot mode and the side of the shuttle mode, so I kind of like how that just breaks up that purple in the forearms a little bit more. Great colors, the color breakup for robot mode is great, and the stickers I think do help a little bit just to bring some more purple down at the legs. But yeah, I love this robot mode. It's a great silhouette, and he's quite nifty. I should say, I did a little bit of modification on this guy. His legs, in particular the hips and thigh rotations up here, were relatively loose when I first got him out of the box. So I did go in with some floor polish, which you can see what I'm talking about up there, and made some adjustments so now he can actually hold his legs up. And like, yeah, they'll still kind of fall, but like before it was just like, whoop. And then going out, it's like, you can kind of see it's a little looser going out, but way better than it was. The thigh rotation's a lot better. It was a really easy fix. But yeah, this guy's so cool. All right, I'm gonna give him his gun real quick. And the gun is a little bit troublesome to put in his hand because you can kind of see the slot for the gun is actually in his fingers, not this joint in the palm. That's actually where the fingers bend. It's up here. Pretty sure you can see what I'm pointing at. So getting the gun in there means you have to kind of come in like this and peg it in up towards the front of his hand. There we go. So he holds it really kind of far up. And it's a little awkward. You can't really close his fingers around it, per se. It looks fine. It could sit a little further back, but I feel like it's the kind of thing that you really won't notice. It doesn't bother me too much. It's more just like a little nuance, little thing to be aware of with this guy. The head sculpt is another thing where I feel like it is very obviously Astrotrain if you're familiar with Astrotrain, but also not. Like, it's way more angular and a bit more sleek looking than I think Astrotrain normally looks, but like the helmet shape is relatively similar, along with that mohawk bit there, which I don't think it's as pronounced in other versions, but that yellow stripe with the purple is definitely Astrotrain. Like that really nice silver face with the red eyes. I love it. I also love those little kind of dots or whatever that are kind of between his cheek and the inside of the helmet cheek guard things. I don't know why, I just like that little molded detail. It appeals to me. Yeah, it's a neat head. It's a neat figure. So yeah, I really, really like this toy, as I've said. Okay, I think I've adjusted the camera enough. I've got just in frame there. So let's start the last round of size comparisons. Here he is with the standard deluxe squad, and as you'd probably expect from a figure that has two rather sizable vehicle modes, he is a fair bit larger than a deluxe, even a tall deluxe. Let's move him in a little closer here, but here he is with Steam Robo. This also should probably come as no shock, seeing as how Steam Robo's train mode was significantly smaller than Chigurh's train mode, but yeah, he's big. Here he is with Ocular Max Volatus, or Volatus. You know, he's not small for a third-party Transformer, especially a combiner, but not as big as this guy. Okay, now before we finish this out, I do have to do the customary preview of the next video, and I've been wandering around the apartment, racking my brain for the last few minutes, which admittedly, I should have done that before I started filming, I know, but I want it to be something special. Not necessarily special in like some kind of grand way, but like I want it to be something that's special to me, at least, because the video after this one is figure study number 400. But it's also going to be the last time I number the figure study videos. I'm still going to be making them. I may or may not call them figure study after this, but they're going to be the same. Like, the format's not really going to change or anything like that. It's just I'm kind of trimming the title down a bit. And I feel like numbering them is probably unnecessary. And I feel like, you know, it's number 400. I'm going to be dropping the numbers. It should be something at least a little bit special. And since I've already covered most of the special stuff that I've got, like my various grails and whatnot, what I decided to do instead was go with something that's significant to me for one very specific reason, and that is a toy that is Grimlock. Specifically, Studio Series 86 Grimlock. This particular Grimlock is special, not just because I absolutely love Grimlock, and he's one of my favorite figure character things in Transformers, because Robot T-Rex, come on, but I did a little bit of customizing to this Studio Series Grimlock, so I really want to look at that too, because I feel like the minor changes that I made to this guy make a pretty significant impact overall in terms of like when you're looking at him in a broad sense. So yeah, for number 400, we're going to be taking a look at Studio Series 86 Grimlock, which is a custom. And no, I did not forget the duck tank. Alright, that is it for DX9's Chigurh, or Chigurh, or whatever. As I've said many times, I love this figure, and I'm extremely glad I got my hands on it again. In particular because DX9 seems to be, I don't want to say quitting, because I don't think that's right, but it's entirely possible that they're either closing or quitting or shifting to a different company name or something. With DX9 stuff being harder to source at this point, I kind of felt like it was important to grab this guy while I could. Kind of hoping I can get my hands on that Gewalt reissue at some point too, because I sold my Gewalt a little while back and have been regretting it, of course, because it's me. But yeah, Chigurh is great, and he's absolutely a departure from normal Astrotrain stuff, but I don't care. In fact, that's the main reason why I really like him. You all know me if you watch this channel with any regularity. I'm not really attached to specific characters or characterizations or anything like that, so I'm more just, do I think the toy is neat? Yes or no, and if so, then cool. And yeah, this is a neat toy. So, that is going to do it for DX9 Chigurh. Whatever your thoughts on Astrotrain toys in general, or the character, any of that stuff, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. Patreon info is down in the description as well as in the end card if you feel so inclined to support the channel. Not required, but would be appreciated. Thank you everybody for watching, and remember, art is more than meets the eye.